Can we talk about the Cubs? We sit and talk to our president of baseball operations all the time, every day. There's not a day that went by. I'm going to say that I spoke to my GM and president of baseball ops 365 days a year, even Christmas, New Year's Day. We're talking about things on the field. We're talking about things off the field. We're talking about the running of the business. We're talking about now, this time of year, it's all about trade deadline. We are 7 days and 10 hours or 9 hours and 48 minutes from the trade deadline. Way fewer than that at 6 p.m. 9 to 6 is 9 hours. So it's 9 hours and 48 minutes. That was close. We have a strategy. We know what we're looking for. We know what teams we're engaged with. Forget what you read and all the rumors and all the stuff you're going to hear. We've got a plan. There is one part of the plan that is very important. It's the don't say anything stupid publicly plan. Why exactly did the president of baseball ops, Jed Hoyer, make it official that they're sellers and not buyers? And that they've got to have a major winning streak or else we're focused on the future? The Chicago Cubs are 49 and 53, 3.5 games back of the wild card. The Chicago Cubs just spent $8 million for 5 years on a manager, bringing him south on 94. The Cubs are simply a half game ahead of the Reds for last place. They have won 2 in a row, though. Maybe they're HOTTT, and that will cause the club president to say something different, which is, way to go, guys. You made it so that we host the Brewers for 2, then we're in Kansas City for 3, and then we're in Cincinnati for 1 before the deadline. We're going to sweep them all, and then we're not going to think about our future. We're going to think about this year. Forget how many games back we are. If we sweep them all and we're still 3.5 back and we haven't caught anyone, it doesn't matter. We will have shown that we are going to help you, the player. What is the upside of publicizing that you are a seller or a buyer? When we would publicize things or put out purposeful leaks, it was related to players who we were trying to acquire or have somebody else not acquire, or we would want to let our fan base know what was going to happen in advance so they would not be disappointed. We were the Marlins, never the Cubs. There is no scenario that a team with a payroll like the Cubs have. Do you know what their payroll is? I have it written down, and I can't exactly find it, but I had it, Coke. It was right there in front of me where I knew it. Yes, they have the 7th highest payroll in baseball. That was never us. We were 28, 29, or 30. You never want to give your fan base unrealistic expectations. We were buyers way more than we were sellers, mostly at the margin, trying to bring in relievers, bring in some bench bats, hope for the best. Very difficult to rent a player, have to pay with your farm system, and I was in. I loved it. Years when I knew that we were losing and had no chance, you say to the fans, what's there to talk about? Of course, we're sellers, not buyers. The whole purpose of being the Cubs is that you should always be buyers. Now, if you happen to have a season where you are 20 games out and you are 20 games under, by all means, be responsible. The way the Yankees were when they traded Chapman to the Cubs and then re-signed Chapman after he won the World Series. You may not remember that. The Yankees were sellers once. Not because the Yankees should ever be sellers, because it was one of those years, and they weren't 3.5 back. I think the mistake that Jed Hoyer and the Cubs are making, other than the fact that since Theo left, they haven't made the playoffs, other than the fact that his job is in jeopardy, he actually gave a quote about that, saying the minute I become part of the conversation, I'm not making good decisions anymore. It's simply about trying to make good decisions for the organization. I feel great about where the organization is, but we played badly for 2 months, and now we have to make decisions as it relates to that. You know what I would never want our guys to say? I feel great about a losing organization that is about to sell. I don't want people to think that that satisfies me at all, especially if I'm the Cubs. Now, if the Cubs want to go through one of their rebuilds like they did under Theo and then turn that into a non-dynasty one championship with Baez and Rizzo and Bryant, then by all means take that tack. But it certainly would not appear that's what the Cubs are doing. And by the way, if they are doing that, and then they just signed their manager to a $40 million deal, then in fact, the quote from their organization should be, "We're morons." And I don't think they are, which is why I don't think they should be selling. I can't imagine what his plan was.